I always wondered though, if Backpack can talk and move and stuff, can he like feel when people are reaching inside of him to pull stuff?
You start pulling out a notebook. Yeah. Bag, relax.
I don't think this love for me. I don't think you doing for me.
Shows I loved as a kid by Derek FDB.
As a kid, I didn't like leaving the crib much. I did play baseball because my Dominican genes commanded
Oh my
me to,
God.
but besides that, I was a homebody. I was inside all day on my PS3 or on my Wii or on my TV. Whether it was before I went to school, after school, or just on weekends, I used to love sitting in front of my TV and watching some of my favorite kid shows.
I don't mean to pause right off rip, and I just can't let it be. If you never watched The Benchwarmers, brother, you are missing out on fucking life, man. The Benchwarmers gotta be the #1 old movie when you were a kid. Well, you know what? I don't know what age range y'all are, but it was one of the best movies when I was a kid. I don't know if it holds up to this day, but I know back then that shit was a bop, bro. Banger.
That's what we'll be doing today. Today I'll be going on some of my favorite channels and shows I watched as a kid. Some y'all may know, some y'all may not know, some y'all may love. And in the end, I'll go over the channel that hosted the shows I loved the most as a kid. I'm starting off with debatably the Go of Kids channels, PBS Kids. Now you see, the good thing about this channel is you could be dirt poor, but as long as you had a TV, you could watch shows on here. And honestly,
PBS Kids was kind of mid. It was kind of mid, bro. Like, it had some bangers. What did it have? It had Dragon Tales. It had Magic School Bus. Those are about the only two shows that I remember from PBS Kids. Yeah, I don't remember anything else. I tried to think about it for a second, but I couldn't.
PBS is better than me because with the amount of bangers they produced, man, all them poor kids would have been looking at straight static. I would have been charging Clifford the Big Red Dog, Sid the Science Kid, Cyber Chase, Arthur, Wildcat, Word Girl.
Wait.
Every single one of these shows.
All of these shows are from PBS? Oh my God. You're right. Wait, is Dragonstone from PBS? I forgot about Clifford. And Arthur, I never watched Arthur. I was not an Arthur fan, I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't watch, but a lot of people liked them. Asked my mom the other day if I liked Clifford. She said I was never into it. I don't know. Sid the Science Kid, he was just hard to look at.
I don't know
They
what
tried to
that
give him
is.
dreads and stuff, but that ain't help. Cyber Chase and Word Girl, what do I look like? A nerd? Wildcrats, I was too old. And Arthur, I don't know. I just thought he was boring and looked like a dweeb.
Facts, dude. Arthur was always a show that I was just like, who's watching this bullshit? It wasn't interesting enough for me to sit there and watch. It just genuinely, it wasn't.
Kind of came full circle when in middle school, some kid posted a picture of me on his Snapchat story saying, I look like him, so sorry, Arthur. These shows just weren't my style. They weren't my jam. It is just too ugly. I was more interested in elegant stuff. Curious George, Magic School Bus, Dragon Tales. Now these were the
Bangers.
shows I was excited to watch.
Bangers!
Magic School Bus was dope. Miss Frizzle was always taking the kids down some random orifice or some random homeless dude's body. It was great. Curious George, he was just a silly monkey. He was just enjoyable to watch. And Dragon Tales, come on, they're dragons. They had a pink one, a blue one, twin dragons. They even had a disabled dragon for some reason.
I don't remember that. I don't remember there being a disabled dragon inside of Dragonstone.
Favorites on PBS Kids were easily Teletubbies, Sesame Street, and Barney. Sadly, I was not into Thomas the Tank Engine. I know. I'm sorry, but his eyes and their faces used to scare me.
I don't know if I'm a weird child. Like, okay, I started watching rated R stuff, more mature television and movies when I was a super young age. And I think it's genuinely just because I was at my grandmother's house majority of the time. And she had, well, it wasn't even her. It was more or less my cousins and my grandfather. They had a selection of films that they would put on, like The Happening, The Mist. There were a couple other films, right? So that's what led me down like the rated R horror stuff. And then, you know, occasionally on TV, you'd see American Pie. And I was obviously way too young to be watching that stuff, but I caught glimpses. So I don't know about a lot of these kids shows besides like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, yada yada.
Don't know how Teletubbies did it, but it's just the way my brain was wired. I don't even know what they did on this show, honestly. Frolicked or stared at the baby son, I don't know. But I know I liked it. My favorite Teletubby was Tinky Winky. Then there was Sesame Street, aka the top dog of this channel. And I may have not liked Clifford, but my mom told me I was a fiend on this show. And she wasn't wrong. I loved everyone on Sesame Street. They had to go Elmo leading the charge. So many memories with him. So many. Easily my
Never watched it. Sesame Street, never watched it.
favorite one of the show. I literally cried when my mom threw away my Elmo doll. It still hurts. Then they had the giant overweight Duck Bird, Big Bird. I highly doubt he could fly. Snuffy, y'all remember Snuffy? That was like the stage 4 terminally ill Woolly Mammoth they had on the show. He was, you know, he was there. And then my 2 favorites besides Elmo, Oscar the Grouch and Cookie Monster. How could you not like these 2? Oscar was funny. Cookie Monster, he was clearly a drug addict, but he was so crazy.
Yeah, dude, I've never watched Sesame Street, and to this day, I know that Cookie Monster was just a fucking crack addict. Like, his crack is cookies. This man cannot go a day without doing some cookies. Doing some cookies, eating some cookies.
Crazy and wacky. He was funny. And then the last of my favorites from PBS, Barney. Who can blame me? Everyone liked Barney. He was a dinosaur. He was purple. I understand the Teletubbies, but how are people scared of this guy? Bro, it's Barney. He's pretty much a celebrity. He ain't messing up his veneers for you. Like I said though, PBS was debatably the GOAT. It's not my favorite. But first, I want to go over my least favorite when it came to kiddie shows. Disney Junior. This channel just didn't really have that many hits, and the ones they did have just weren't really my forte. I was not watching Little Einsteins. I was not watching Handy Manny, that fake Bob the Builder, and I was not watching Bear in the Big Blue House.
Okay, Bear in the Big Blue House is a banger. I don't know what he's talking about when he's bringing that up, but I would like to say Bear in the Big Blue House, I remember that one very fondly. Another point that I wanted to bring up, yeah, I didn't want to pause back to back. Does anybody remember the Cookie Monster era where everybody wore Cookie Monster t-shirts and Cookie Monster fitted hats and they would just walk around and feel like they were cool? I do. I was a part of that era. It's not a good era to think about though.
The occasional, it's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. That show was pretty lit from time to time. I even learned how to do the Goofy dance. There was also Doc McStuffins, which I only watched on plane rides, but she was pretty cool. It was like Grey's Anatomy for kids. Love to see it. Black excellence. But I didn't really watch these shows that often. Probably the one Disney Junior show I do remember watching hella of was the Lilo and Stitch show. Now that was
banger, certified banger. Lilo and Stitch, anything Lilo and Stitch is pretty much a certified banger.
Some heat. I know it technically wasn't a Disney Junior original, but it still aired, so it counts. I love this show. If you never watched it, just imagine the Lilo and Stitch movie, but it's a show and way more Stitches. My favorite episodes were the one where Stitch gets a shorty, pretty much a pink version of himself, and of course, the crossover episode with Kim Possible.
Kim Possible was such a good show. Dude, they don't make children's shows like they used to. They do not make children's shows like they used to at all. Because now the children's shows are really like woke. They're woke and they're just like not funny. And did y'all ever notice that the animation on the new kids shows are just they're whack, bro. Everything's shiny, everything's so rounded out, everything's so just it's like SpongeBob from that one episode where he said that he was regular. That's basically every kid show nowadays, or every cartoon nowadays.
That was some heat. Well, if we're counting as a Disney Junior show, then this was also a banger. Him and Shego My Ego were obviously my favorites. And relax, it's not because I thought they looked good as a kid. You got me.
Yeah.
The rest of the cast.
Yeah, don't lie. Shego is a bad bitch, bro. Anybody could admit that. Shego was a bad bitch.
We had Ron, who was supposed to be like the love interest, but come on now. We all know he was just the gay best friend. We had the fat black dude. He was like the hacker one. He was chill. And then we had my least favorite of the main cast, Rufus. He was just chopped. He was Ron's naked mole rat.
Ew.
Who is owning this? But the show was good. It was fun. It was cool. It was fun to see Kim go on these spy missions. And Ron always messed something up. But that was just Disney Junior. That's not even me bringing up Disney's other kid channel that I want to talk about, Disney XD.
I don't remember if Disney XD was good to watch. I feel like it wasn't. If I can't remember off the top of my head what cartoons or what shows were on there, it couldn't have been that good. Or maybe I just have a bad memory. Maybe it was a banger.
But before I talk about Disney XD, I need to talk about its predecessor. And I'm not gonna lie, if you were born after 2006, you probably have never heard this channel. But let me tell you about it, because it was amazing. Jetix. My late 90s and early 2000 viewers, I know y'all feel the nostalgia. I know y'all feel it. This channel had nothing educational. It was literally just Disney XD before Disney XD. Except its shows were debatably, not even debatably, its shows were better. This channel had shows like Sonic X, which I already know, a banger. Yin Yang Yo, Totally Spies, Power Rangers.
Don't even flame me for this one, bro. Don't even flame me for this one. Don't even flame me for this one. I think about this show all the time. I don't know why, but it does stick. It stuck out to me. The title, the girls' colors. Like, who does red, green, and yellow? Usually blue is thrown in here somewhere. Ain't no blue around here.
Spies, Power Rangers SPD, Power Rangers Mystic Force, Power Rangers Ninja Storm, and the best Power Rangers series, Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Honestly, I loved all of them. I was always the Red Ranger, but this one holds a special place in my heart. This channel also had Puka. Y'all know that show where the little ninja dude is running from that girl who can't take no for an answer. It was fire. I loved that one as a kid too. And not only did it have great shows, but this channel was also low-key my introduction to anime. It had another show I loved, specifically
Digimon. Okay, for anybody who's in the chat right now, was it Digimon? Was it Beyblade? Or was it Bakugan? Which one? Because everybody had a favorite. And my favorite, personally, I'm gonna have to say it, Beyblade. Beyblade was the best one. Undebatable. Digimon hands down. That must be an Australian thing. It's gotta be.
specifically Digimon Frontiers, which unironically has one of the best openings of all time. Go listen to it, please. Then they had my go-to Mega Man, NT Warrior, and Beyblade, the original one. Oh my goodness, was I obsessed, especially with Mega Man. Bro, I wanted to be him. And of course, you know I can't forget my favorite of the marketable animes, Yu-Gi-Oh! Me and my brother loved this show. We had DVDs, we had action figures, we had cards. I just said had. I still have cards. Let me show you.
Check them out. Check them out.
Just like Mega Man, bro. I wanted to be Yuki. I said the story in one of my old vids how I wanted to dye my hair purple, gold, and black to match him. It was that serious. I was willing to become emo for Yugi. That's just how much I love this show and all its characters. I even loved Kaiba, and his whole purpose was to hate on Yugi and Joey.
Mokuba, make sure Wheeler's late.
Jetix was just amazing, man. It was amazing. But now I gotta talk about Disney XD. Now Disney XD, although not as amazing as Jetix, it was definitely a step up from Disney Junior. Kick Buttowski with his BBL, the 9th grade ninja, Ultimate Spider-Man. This wasn't a bad lineup, but the bestest thing to ever air on Disney XD was Gravity Falls. Now,
I don't know about any of these shows. Even the Spider-Man show, I have no knowledge on it.
look, when I was a kid, I was a conspiracy head. I love watching videos on abduction stories, ghost stories, urban legends. Bro, I knew all the Mandela effects. Febreze was spelled with 2 E's, not 1.
That's
so when
so
Disney dropped
dog
Gravity
shit.
Falls, a show all about supernatural stuff,
Every 3 months
of
is
course
insane.
I'ma love it. And this may sound crazy to say, but I think this is one of the best cartoon shows of all time. There was some new weird thing going on every episode. The show was actually pretty funny.
Wait.
And the character
Was that in the show? No way this was actually in the show. This is a nice little Easter egg for like Street Fighter.
thing going on every episode. The show was actually pretty funny, and the characters were lovable. Look at Waddles. What I loved most about this show though is that back in the day, it had everybody who watched it theorizing about who made the journals. Most people were wrong though. Like, can y'all believe there were people saying Seuss wrote the journals? Seuss? He's the stupid one. I thought it was the homeless dude. My favorite episodes were the one where Mabel gets zooted off that fun dip. That was hilarious to watch. And Bill Cipher's introduction episode. Only cause when I first saw him, I was shocked. It's the Illuminati. I could honestly make a whole video on this show, but now I want to talk about one of my favorite channels, Nick Jr. Nick Jr. was definitely
I feel like my least favorite kids channels was like Disney. It's always been Disney, and it will probably forever be Disney. I feel like Nick and Cartoon Network had some of the best childhood content on this earth. I think that Cartoon Network takes the cake for me, but Nick is very second. It's very close second.
Nick Jr. was definitely my second, if not favorite channel to watch as a kid. This channel had straight 10s. Yo Gabba Gabba, 10.
Banger.
Lazy Town, 10.
Lazy Town? Oh my god, this shit was a banger. Bro, people don't know about Lazy Town, but let me tell you, I know about Lazy Town. These motherfuckers were my childhood. Wow, what was
Max and Ruby, 10.
Max and Ruby's always gonna be a banger. Always gonna be a banger.
Wonder Pets, 10.
Not me.
Pinky Dinky.
I always bring up this show, Pinky Dinky Doo, and don't nobody ever know about this shit. And listen, I know that I'm a man, I'm a straight man, and I grew up with men, but when Pinky Dinky Doo came on, that shit was a banger. I don't even remember what happened in this show. I just remember fucking with this person. Like, I fucked with her. She was cool beans to me. I don't know. Maybe it's the hair. Maybe it's that Pinky Dinky Doo hair. But I just know that Pinky Dinky Doo was a fucking goat banger.
Dude, 10. Bro, they even had an Asian Dora. Ever heard of Little Bill? Nah, I'm just joking. This is Nihao Kai Lan. I did like that show though. All these shows were great. Sporticus had me doing push-ups.
I
Pinky
feel
Dinky
old
Doo
as
had me
shit watching
brainstorming.
this.
Max had me hating my sibling. Highland had me ordering Chinese food in Mandarin. Bro, I even enjoyed the Fresh Beat Band. And oh my goodness,
What
these
is
dudes had
that?
me wanting to sip smoothies and hit the stanky leg. But although
I've never heard of that. I've heard of the Naked Brothers band. I've never heard of that though.
these shows are great, they ain't even scratching my top 4 on this channel. My top 4 were The Backyardigans, Blue's Clues, Dora, and one more I'm gonna mention in a second. The Backyardigans,
SpongeBob?
come on now, definitely up there. If you ain't watched this when you was young, you missed out. The adventures, the characters, the music. I know y'all ain't forget the music. Castaways. We are castaways. Look at them.
Yeah.
They're getting that. I've always been a Pablo kind of guy myself, but I liked everyone else too, except Austin. I don't know why, but every time I turned on the TV, he was barely in any episode. You think you're too good for me? Blue's Clues, man, this was one of my go-tos.
Once Steve left, right? Steve was the original Blues Clues guy, right? Once Steve left, this show fell off a fucking cliff for me. I'm not gonna lie. I cried that day. It was the most depressing thing I ever saw in my life. It was like losing a family member. But you know, I was a child. I was an actual infant watching this show. So the moment that he left, it felt like I lost a family member, and my parents had to console me for like 2 days straight. Then they brought in Joe. Who the fuck wants Joe? I don't forgive Steve for leaving this show, honestly. I really don't.
We just got a letter.
We just got a letter.
Oh my
We just got a
goodness,
letter.
Albo.
I wonder
I for real
who it's
love this show
from.
so
Hey.
much. Seeing Blue and Steve, my goat Steve, going on little adventures, teaching us how to tell time, learn about physics, how to jump through paintings was all so great. Makes me want to shed a tear. I just can't believe they replaced him twice and made Blue 3D. Like, what is this? Dora, I know a lot of people hate on her, but this
Bro.
girl and her cousin Diego were a huge part of my childhood. And not just them, because unlike Kylan, Dora's side cast was actually memorable. We had Boots the albino monkey, Swiper the shiesty fox, Betty the blue bull, that ugly yellow bridge troll.
I do not remember the bridge troll, and I do not remember the other friends. I don't even remember this character. Who is this? This is a mystery to me. I just remember Dora, Boots, and Swiper No Swiping. That's it.
Oh, even her map and her backpack were characters. Who's doing it like her? I always wondered though, if Backpack can talk and move and stuff, can he like feel when people are reaching inside of him to pull stuff? I don't even want to think about it. I also love
Imagine the bag. You start pulling out a fucking notebook. Yes. Yes. Whoa. Bag. Relax. You put it back in. Oh. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a weird thought.
that she was bilingual, teaching us English and Spanish at the same time. Shout out to all my No Sabo kids. And what I loved about Dora the most is that she made me feel so involved. Every time Attention Star Swiper pulled up trying to fleece something off somebody, Dora would have me saying, "Swiper, no swiping! Swiper, no swiping!" Oh man! And the best part was, even if I was
I'm not gonna lie. He hit the old man like crazy. Oh man. That's what Swiper sounds exactly like that. Cadence and all.
feeling lady that day or just didn't feel like talking, her and Boots would still get it done, so it wasn't too much pressure on me to do it. The hate this girl gets just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, sometimes she does stare a little too long when waiting for an answer, but she's just giving the stupid kids extra time. That ain't her fault. I loved her so much, I think she even affected my real life, honestly. Because ever since meeting Dora, I've had like this natural affinity or bond with every Mexican I've met. My first grade crush, Mexican. My elementary best friend, Mexican. My high school best friend, Mexican.
That's a crazy way view Dora. You watched Dora as a kid, so now you are locked in with Mexicans your entire life. You know what? I'll give it to him. That's a fair point to make. One of my best friends is Mexican, so me too.
My DoorDash driver, Mexican. And what did I order? Italian. But I could have gone for some Mexican. If this continued, I might have became Mexican. Y'all would have been getting like 5 videos a day. But my favorite show to watch on Nick Jr. was The Upside Down Show. Shout out to the 3 other people that know this show.
This man did not mention SpongeBob at all. That's criminal.
A lot of y'all probably don't know what I'm talking about, but hear me out. It was this weird Australian show. I know. That would play on Nick Jr. at like 11 p.m. Yes, I was staying up for this. Where these 2 dudes, one baldwin, would go on these little adventures, whether it be to the park, the movie theater, other places. And the whole time, we the viewer would help them get to where they need to go. But it wasn't awesome.
Do you remember that show, Titan? I have no recollection of that that show at all. I have never heard of that thing a day in my life. I also did have a 9 p.m. bedtime, so that would make sense. They're called the Umbilical Brothers. Why? Because they can't get it off each other's asses or something? I've never heard of that show a day in my life. The fact that he didn't bring up SpongeBob is insane to me. SpongeBob is the most known Nickelodeon show to this day. To this day! Do you know how many people reference SpongeBob on a day-to-day? I literally referenced it in this video before he even brought it up, and he never brought it up. The regular moment, the stadium concert, this hash-slinging, lash-linging, brash-binging slasher. Life is kind of represented by SpongeBob to this day. So I don't understand how he couldn't bring it up, but it's cool.
Do you know where the bridge is? No. We would use our real life remote to speed them up, slow them down, turn off the lights. It was some really cool interactive stuff. And not only that, but everything in this show was acted out by these two dudes. Like everything. Sound effects, objects hitting them. They even had these little action sequences where they would use their fingers to parkour. It was so cool. Like, I love this show. But sadly, Nick Jr. canceled it after only 13 episodes.
Damn.
I know. I can low-key see why. It was a bit odd and felt like a fever dream sometimes, but man, please, those of you who rock with me, I mean really rock with me, when you're done with this, just watch one episode, just one, please. And now, for my favorite channel to watch as a kid, Cartoon Network. This channel,
everybody's, oh my god, Raven, bro. You can't tell me that you did not think that Raven was a baddie when you were younger. Raven was a fucking bad bitch, okay? Raven stole the hearts out of every little kid.
During the early 2000s and even some of the 2010s was just a definition of perfection. When I would come out of school, this channel was my first option every single time. Unless SpongeBob was playing, I was on Cartoon Network enjoying shows like Ed, Edd and Eddy, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Dexter's Laboratory, Codename Kids Next Door, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Star Wars The Clone Wars, Teen Titans, The Misadventures of Flapjack. It's too many bangers.
Bro.
That's not even me talking about the 2010 shows. Regular Show, Adventure Time,
To be completely fair, I don't know about a ton of the 2010 shows, but I do know a lot about the early 2000 shows. Every single one that he said was a banger. I never watched Clone Wars though. I wasn't into Star Wars back then. I did go watch every single Star Wars movie and TV show within like the last 2 or 3 years, but I just never got around to Clone Wars. It's way too long, bro.
Amazing World of Gumball, Steven Universe, even their old shows that I'd watch on Boomerang. Yeah, some of y'all remember Boomerang. We're goated. Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, Jetsons, Flintstones, Looney Tunes, Baby Looney Tunes. It's just so much peak. What is this LeBron James longevity? I don't think I could go over how much I love these shows in just one video. Honestly, it might need its own. But I can go over one of my favorites from each era. Powerpuff Girls, unironically one of the best superhero shows ever. Better than the CW Flash.
Yes.
Go at me. This show was so good. I remember kids at school would tell me,
that's a girl show. You're not supposed to be watching that.
but I would still come home
Mojo Jojo
and watch it. That's how you know it wasn't a sexist baby. I loved all three of the girls, but my favorite one had to be Buttercup. Had to. Sorry, Blossom and Bubbles fans, but Buttercup was just the best one. She had that tough energy. My favorite episodes were the one where they sing a song about love, then cripple a clown right after, and the Rowdy Rough Boys one. That one was dope. Then there was Ben 10. I've said this before, but easily best Cartoon Network show of this era. Or bare minimum, tied for first. Courage the Cowardly Dog was fire. He's getting his own vid. Love this show so much though. I remember I had an Omnitrix toy, the plastic one though, not the digital one.
I had one of these, or I don't know if I had one of these or if I stole it from my cousin. I might have stole it from my cousin. No, I don't even think I stole. I don't know what. I remember I had one of those and I had it on my wrist, and then I just like kind of swung at my brother, and that shit just clocked him right in the dome ski. Oh my god, that shit was thrown away the next day.
Digital one. We were too poor for that one. I played the games on the Cartoon Network website all the time. Bro, I even had Ben 10 Protector Earth on my Wii. You a real one if you played this. Shout out to y'all. Ben was just so cool. I mean, everyone in this show was cool. Gwen was cool. Kevin was cool. Vilgax was cool. Bro, even Freaky Grandpa Max was cool. He always had some side chick alien popping out of nowhere. What was he doing up there? And then finally, one of my favorites from the 2010s era, Ninjago. A show about Lego ninjas? Come on.
My boy is completely cooked, dude. He's mentioning shows as his favorite, It has to be Rage Bait, dude. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends is by far the most peak that Cartoon Network ever got. Don't at me about it. There's no way that you can tell me that there's any show that outbeat Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. There's no way.
Now, how could I not love it? This show was just nice. The intro, jump up, kick back, whip around and spin, had me doing spin jutsu all over my living room, getting whooped. It was amazing. I have fond memories of me and my childhood friends all being one of the ninjas too. I was Kai, my homie was Jay, another one was Zane, and the last one was Cole.
I'm still black.
And I'ma say it now, Kai should have been the Green Ninja. I'm not even being biased. The show was still great though, but not gonna lie, I gotta be honest with y'all. After season 3, I did not pay attention to the show anymore. I don't remember if it's because I had school or we just got rid of our cable, but I just stopped watching. Eventually though, I did come back to rewatch the entire series, but when I came back, I found out this show, unlike other shows that runs for like, 5, 6, 7 seasons maybe, this show has 15. They're Lego ninjas. What do they got going on the last one? Like 6. As much as I love this show as a kid, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I am not watching that. Same reason I don't watch One Piece. I may be missing out on Peak,
Too many.
but no, that was pretty much all the shows I wanted to go over today, and there will definitely be a part 2. I have to show Cartoon.
Shout out Derek FDB. This video was actually amazing. I'm not gonna lie. It gave me a lot of nostalgia. It made me remember certain shows that I have not seen from way back in the day. Shout out Derek FDB. W video.
I don't think this love for me. I don't think you the one for me. I don't think you see me when you fucking up all in your dream. I don't think you got trust for me. Just ain't what I